Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have in all honesty, kind of a pretty huge leak when it comes to the Switch. Now, as you guys have probably had a chance to go and see throughout these past few months, we have actually seen a lot, and I mean a lot of little small, little baby smidgens of leaks when it comes to the Switch and Switch Pro. But this one has actually been making its rounds, which, in all honesty, has kind of almost has undisputable proof, at least in my opinion, that the Switch Pro is actually coming, and actually sooner than we actually go and assume. Now, we've actually had some pretty cool internal, like basically stakeholder meetings, so think like the stock and all the internals and what they're doing and what they're spending money on. And with all this put together, we actually have some very, very intriguing numbers, and as you guys have probably had a chance to see throughout these past few, I'd probably say past year or so, there's a lot of little baby leaks and a lot of little baby bits of information that all are kind of tied together, and they're basically making this Switch Pro actually a reality. So we're going to talk about that, talk about the proof, talk about everything else going on, and as well, as per usual for these types of videos, leave a comment down below if you guys are going to be trying to go get a Switch Pro whenever it comes out, if you guys want to go cover restocks if they're hard to go and get, and as well, let me know your thoughts and comments, because this one's actually pretty juicy and pretty high up there when it comes to the I keep on always saying PlayStation on my videos, Switch as well. So, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. As well, for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway, we have all the links down below, the Amazon links, the Twitter and Twitch stream down below, Xbox signups, Weebles, Targets, everything. And let's go and dive in this video itself. So let's go first and foremost over here. As you guys know, the Switch Pro is so overdue, astronomically overdue, to the point where I almost want to go and cry myself to sleep every night because I just don't even want to play on my Switch. It's like 6 years old, maybe even older than that at this point. It's getting up there. And well, it's just not a good console. I love the games, I love Nintendo, but a lot of their most recent games, Mario even Striker, Racing, a lot of other various games, they're just not good. They're just not the best games out there. The graphics have been slogging. The actual processing, slogging. Developers trying to make these games and make them beautiful and make them cool. Slogging. It's not good. It's really not good. But we've had some very, very intriguing information first and foremost. So, first and foremost with this one, we've actually been seeing a lot of leaks, and some of those leaks before actually turned into the Switch OLED version. And we saw a lot of OLED screens being produced, mass-produced, and everything else. So, first and foremost, Nintendo recently released figures for its production cost. And this is where it gets very, very interesting as I move my webcam over the past 3 years. And spending on hardware parts and development has apparently risen now dramatically. Nintendo's spending trends since 2015 can tell a story of when the company is developing new products. I think you guys can maybe see what we're alluding towards here. Costs for hardware development skyrocketed in 2019 and 2021. In the years that the Switch Lite, so that's more on the 2019 vibe, and then for 2021, the Switch OLED released respectively. So basically that meant we saw a lot of those leaks around 2021, which is why we assumed it was a Switch Pro. We saw new internals. We saw the new screens. We saw all these leaks. And the leaks actually did end up pretty good. We knew that there was something coming, and I think it was somewhat rightfully so for us to assume OLED screens and better internals and, the deals with Samsung and all of that to have been I keep on saying PlayStation, a Switch Pro. Now, granted, it was a new iteration with the Switch OLED, and in my honest opinion, I don't think a lot of folks were assuming the Switch OLED was going to happen. I myself was 80-90% gung-ho for the Switch Pro. I think a lot of folks do as well. So in fact, hardware development costs were at an all-time high in the company in 2021, costing $3.7 billion, or approximately $27 million, compared to 2020's only $140,000. Now, I'm sure you guys can all understand $140,000 is probably one dude working. $27 million, now you got a full team, now you got a research, development, all of that. What is also interesting about Nintendo spending is the increase in cost for raw materials and supplies. This cost usually increases preceding the development of a new hardware. For reference, the cost of materials were really stable from 2015 to 2017 at around $15 million per year. However, this cost has risen substantially since 2018, and now with 2022's cost, so this current year, is now estimated at $500 million. Now, I don't want to be the guy out here to throw it out confirmed, because, well, it's not officially confirmed. We haven't seen Nintendo announce it on like a Nintendo Direct. We haven't seen official tweets. We haven't seen major news. But I think a lot of us actually kind of can put this together, and this is pretty much confirmed. This is looking good. So this is almost 8,000 times the average and more than twice the spending of the next highest year in 2019. While development costs are stable this year, production costs are slowly now beginning to rise. Now, obviously, too, the article itself that we're referencing over here is also mentioned, too, with the pandemic, supply issues, semiconductors. But $500 million? I don't know, boys. I don't know. So this crisis colliding with the computer chip shortage we have been suffering through in the recent years has meant the costs have risen sharply in Nintendo-based markets. This vast increase in spending could be Nintendo opting to buy parts in bulk in order to, obviously just make sure they're all Switch itself, future Switches are fine. However, though, and this is, I think, the more juicy topic, the stark increase in development costs in 2021 and parts in 2022 definitely paint a different story, which definitely alludes more towards the PlayStation, I keep on saying PlayStation, Switch Pro. And it kind of figures that Nintendo has a new piece of hardware already in development. Nintendo usually releases new hardware every 5 to 6 years, and with the Switch releasing in 2017 as well, it's also due for an update and was probably one of the most sought after things, especially for those consoles. However, recently Nintendo did extend the life of its successful products over new releases. Most famously, it is now 8 years since the release of Mario Kart 8, because it came out in the Wii U, with Nintendo deciding to continue updating the game over releasing a sequel. This new spending points to either a completely new console or an update such as a Nintendo Switch Pro. Seems likely we have to wait a little bit longer, though, for an official announcement to find out which. So the main intriguing things, too, as well, if you guys have a chance to see from Ratira, this is pretty much the numbers we're looking at. I'm excited. So unconsolidated inventories. So these are all the fiscal years. You guys can see 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. Finished goods. And these are always usually in millions, too. So this is not only 2,000. This is basically, I would say billion, I think. So 2,778. Higher numbers on the finished goods. And especially in comparison to 21. 20. 19 was kind of comparable, though, with the Switch Lite, though. And 18 as well. Work in progress, 69. 3,718, 19,795, and all that. Raw materials and supplies. So this was kind of a really big one that they were pushing. The article we just showed. 66,517 in millions. So basically add that to millions. Look at what it is for 21. What it is for 20. Even 19. All these years. And actually, I'd almost be kind of curious if all these literally combined are the same numbers or not, where they're ordering all these massive amounts of raw materials. Now, as I mentioned, and even the article mentioned, this could always just allude towards them, doing something crazy for maybe stockpiling stock to make sure throughout the rest of the year, the Switches themselves, like normal Switches, are good on stock. Or, with all this, with all the leaks, all the information, everything else we had a chance to see, this could just be them already making the Switch Pro, or at least on the barest of all bare minimums, already contracting out all these bigger companies that are going to probably be making them and being like, hey, we're going to release the Switch Pro. We don't know exactly when. We need to go make 50 million of them because we already know it's going to be something like hotcakes. How about we go give you, a nice $1 billion now. Start making some stuff, start preparing some stuff, get some storage, and we'll talk in a few more months whenever we have it fully finalized. Or, as you guys probably know, a lot of these big companies like to make these products even before then. They like to literally go and make sure that they have, let's say, 5 million PS5s, 5 million Xboxes, 5 million Switch Pros, whenever they come out. So these numbers that we're seeing are insane. in terms of, especially I think the biggest thing is on the research and development, where it just went up 8,000. This is on the verge of us having some huge breakthroughs and huge leaks. This is us pretty much getting closer. I don't want to say this next week or anything like that, obviously. It could even be not even this year. But this is basically us getting to the point where the Switch Pro is getting very, very close to being announced. Very, very close to coming out. And I love seeing this. So kind of give me your thoughts. Like I said, it's not confirmed, but this is looking huge. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well. for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway, and the Amazon links down below for all the signups, for the invitations, the Twitter and Twitch rooms down below, Weebles, Targets, and all of that. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching in the first place.